I take suicide prevention very serious. I know that today somebody has lost a brother, a sister, an aunt, a grandmother, a father, a mother, a child, a friend to suicide. And we don't have answers to why or what or how or what we miss. What we do have is grief. We have moments of sadness, days of hardship, minutes where you're wondering if you said this or if you said that, it could be something different. We have regrets, the guilt, the surviving of it all, and it all comes down to one thing. It's the fact that we're going to miss you. The fact that you matter. The fact that everything about you matters. If you are somebody who is thinking of committing suicide, I just need you to dial 3 numbers. 988. Just 3 numbers. And if for some reason, some odd, strange reason that you could not get the help that you want, I just want you to know that you matter. I just want you to know that tomorrow needs you. I just want you to know that you are loved and that we care. We want to see you and hear from you. We want to see your smile and hear your laughter. We want to be there when you cry. Because whether you know it or not, you mean more to this world than you could have ever known. So before you make a decision that you can't live with, make one that you can and dial 988. And if for some reason you're not quite there, but the thought has crossed your mind, then reach out to BetterHelp. This is something that I use personally. I do not get a single penny for promoting them. I simply use them and know that it works. So before you make that decision, before you get to that point, make one to stay, because tomorrow needs you. So let's talk football.
They give it to Dillon. Nope, Rodgers throws it. It's up in the air, and it is picked off by the Lions. Knocked up at the line of scrimmage, and Kirby Joseph was under it to make the grab. Oh, baby, how big is that?
What's going on, Pride Nation? Because I'm back to talk some Detroit Lions football, and I'm about to talk about that Lions and Green Bay Packers game on top of a few other things. I tend to have a way to rub people the wrong way, and it's okay. I don't typically share the masses view, and it's cool. We're going to get into that and more. I'm excited to be back. I felt like Monday I was going to be able to get on and talk. I got held over at work. I was like, I knew this was going to happen. And then Tuesday came, and I stood in the longest line that I could think of to vote. But that wait was well worth it. And so anytime I get a chance to exercise my rights, I am excited. So welcome. Sorry that it took me so long, but let's talk some football. Let's get in here and get active about this thing. Let's see who's in the building with me rocking. We got my man, Dr. Detroit, Looney Tunes in the building. We got John Capler in the building, friendly neighborhood Lions fan, Lions Rumble 81. We got my man, Sheldon McCray, Craig Ferguson, 13 Precinct Game, Inc., One Pride 40, Dan Spanos, Raw Detroit. What's going on, my brother TA? Will K in the building. My man Anthony from Roar the Lions UK. What's going on? We got One Funky Lions fan, 313. Kurt is in the building. 9 Drinks is in the building. My man Ramon, the New Age, is in the building. B Pharrell is in the building. If you in here, you post something in the chat, I'll shout you out. Mr. Marcus, that fan man is in the building. My man Miko is in the building. I feel like I'm gonna piss Miko off today too, so it's about to happen. It's the truth. Salty is in the building. Lions Talk with Micro Mike from Chat Sports, aka Micro Mike, is in the building. Mikhail Holt is in the building. Ghost Gunner is in the building. Detroit Tellis is in the building. Let's see, Tactical Puma, Darth Twerk is in the building. Make sure I ain't miss nobody, man. All right. Please follow my man. I am Salty, and everybody hit that like button because I'm about to get into it. Because I don't think I could have ever been more annoyed, and I think the universe knew that I was annoyed, and it held me in check. It did. It held me in check because it knew I was going to go off. First things first, let me just say how happy and how proud I am that the Lions beat the Packers. Not because it's the Packers, but because in my viewpoint, the Lions had gave up. And I'm excited that they came out and showed some form of life and dug in and dug hard. For me personally, everybody's giving the game ball out to different people. Most people give the game ball out to Kirby Joseph, and that's justified, right? But I'd like to talk about some of the other heroes because I think you got to give a few game balls out. One of the players that I think was grossly under-talked about who had a huge 2 last games was Derek Barnes. And I don't think people realize how impactful the plays he made were just as impactful as the ones that Kirby made, because his ability to stop the run helped in a lot of ways. Now, again, keep in mind, I'm going to be going on a lot of different things, but I'm going to be going in on you, the fan base, not you particularly, but if you said these things, then I guess it applies to you, because I have grew weary to people's views. Not too long ago, after Okudah had a really good game, I want to say it was like week 3, right? I got messages, multiple messages of people saying like, oh, and you wanted Isaiah Simmons. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, Okudah's better than Simmons. And I'm like, we really gonna do this? Okay. This happened again. Apparently, people seem to think that one game equates so much. And so for that reason, I'm annoyed. Now, keep in mind, I'm even more annoyed because I saw Lions fans, some popular names that I see on a regular basis on here, where they were on Packer channels saying like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers had a bad game, but I'll take it. No. No, don't you dare ever, as a fan, be apologetic for it. They're not going to apologize for beating you when you're down. They're not going to apologize for coming at you when it's all bad. This whole idea that he was forced into a bad game. He had receivers open. He didn't see him. He got shook from an invisible pressure. He wasn't under duress that game. And the people who I saw on these other channels doing that made me sick. It made me upset because your team won. 97.1 The Ticket is out there talking about you guys, the fan, and acting like, oh my God, why would you win? I have fans who literally put up there, oh, they messing up our draft position. What is wrong with you? A loser's mentality is a loser's mentality, no matter how you slice it. And I don't tolerate loser's mentality. I can't accept a loser's mentality. And the reality is Aaron Rodgers didn't play well because the Lions actually made plays. Those weren't just gimmies. Those were forced plays. Those were adjustments made where your team stepped up and made plays. Understand something. It doesn't matter if you don't want to, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He got his ass handed to him. He went up. I don't give a care what nobody said. I'm tired of the excuse. He don't have any receivers. Well, last time I checked, I heard him say that he made receivers. Make more. Because I don't want to hear he didn't have receivers. He didn't trust them. He didn't throw the ball to him. He had an invisible clock in his head, and he, for some reason, made it possible. The reality is this. The Lions played a good game. And I found 2 things wrong in that whole game. Only 2. 2. I'm going to say it again. 2. I found 2 things wrong. 1, we didn't play on all 3 phases appropriately. We should have clearly ran the score up on them. We didn't. And the second thing that I found wrong was how the officials officiated that game. Did a lot of calls go towards Green Bay? Yep, and they should have. And they should have had about 19 more for delay a game. But your team won. And as many times as your team is lost, when there was no Stafford, where there was no Calvin Johnson, there was no Barry, there was no one sitting there telling you, oh, they had a bad game because these people were out. And I got Lions fans on other channels. It was just, we were just happy and we got it. Fortunately, bullshit. Your team smacked the other team in the face. How many years you ain't had receivers or running game or offensive line, a quarterback, a defense? And they showed up. There wasn't a single person who went into that game that believed that the Lions were going to win, but the people on that team's loved ones. And they came out and they got the job done. And I got to listen to people talk about, it was fortunate. I got to listen to people send me messages about players at the one good game. One good game. And y'all have lost your mind. Which brings me to my next point. Kerby Joseph had a hell of a game. Hell of a game. But I'll be damned if I'm seeing people say he's the next Brian Dawkins. The fuck? People all of a sudden he's a ball hawk. The hell? I got people hitting me up and on other shows talking about, what about the Kyle Hamilton? We really doing this? What is wrong with y'all? It's one game. Wake me up when it's consistent. Stop acting like the little boy who got the crush to see him. It's one game. I can easily show up every time somebody have a good game and say, oh, look, it's that one game. He's better. Get consistent. Get more in line with doing it every Sunday. Then come talk to me and tell me about it. It blows my mind. I am truly confused. So, Luke, what are you talking about? Great win by the Lions for doing what they were supposed to do, for making adjustments, for making plays on the ball when they had a chance to make plays. But even now, Kerby, Joe, Luke said, and I quote, that Kerby is not a ball hawk. What I said was, what we were told was, we are drafting a ball hawk safety. And I watched him through a number of games. And he did not ball hawk the ball. In fact, he dropped quite a few interceptions. And ball hawks, when they get their hand on the ball, it's theirs. So since we got that out the way, let's go and look at some other stuff. Because Pro Football Focus came out and said some stuff, and this led to a lot of the fuckery that I had to deal with. Because I don't think we've learned as a fan base how to enjoy a win without trying to go back to the well to say, oh, I was right and you was wrong at the one game. So, Pro Football Focus, people. I want y'all to understand, I made this post and I've had so many people have a negative response to me making the post. Negative response. Pro Football Focus said Kerby Joseph is now the number 2 overall graded safety per them. Not just for the week. Could have accepted that for the week. They just said he's the number 2 guy for the week. I could have accepted that. Not just amongst rookies. If they would have said amongst rookies, I could have accepted that for the week. But the number 2 graded safety for the entire season. And I put a post up that said, this is why I hate Pro Football Focus. And I had people who actually had the audacity to ask me to name people better. So I, as you can see, don't have a Pro Football Focus subscription. I Googled this, and this is what they showed. So he's behind Antoine Winfield. And he's ahead of Malik Hooker. Now, mind you, it's 1 week. So I had to go and figure out, how did they come to this determination? And they graded by interceptions and how the interceptions were obtained. And I'm like, okay. So I got to ask them questions because I can't sleep. And so I decided to go and look at the draft class. And as you can see right now, this is all of the draft class, and these are just solo tackles. Forget combine, just solo. And I started here with the first safety, who shows up as Jaquan Brisker, who has 41 solo tackles, an interception, and 3 sacks. And I went, interesting. And then I went down to the next safety, Jalen Petrie. Again, these are just the rookies. I ain't even got it to the vets. And look at Jalen Petrie. He gets 36 solo, 2 interceptions, and 1 sack. I got Devin Lloyd, a guy that probably should have been on this team, but we're going to be quiet. 34 tackles and solo and 2 interceptions, right? And then I get down to our guy. I scroll on down to our guy, to Kerby Joseph, a guy who had a really good game. Really good game. Stellar game. Ecstatic that he had this game. 16 solo tackles and 2 interceptions. Then I had people send me 1,000 messages about, oh, Kyle Hamilton, yeah, that's what you do. So I went and looked at him. And I wanted to compare the two because I can't celebrate the win. We got to come back and prove Luke wrong at the one game. We got to go on Green Bay Packers fans and fans YouTube and act like, oh, we were so fortunate. We're still playing for that draft pick. I hate that we won. And I'm thinking this is a joke, right? So I look at the numbers, right? Because I'm not looking at too many other things. And clearly right now, he's had one more game than Kerby Joseph. One more. He's got 17 solo compared to his 6. He's got 8 assists compared to his 15. So clearly, Kerby has more tackles. And while y'all are celebrating that, y'all don't realize that we still got another problem. But that's a different story. This guy got 2 quarterback hits. He got 1. Nobody gives a shit. He's got a tackle for a loss and a sack. He don't got none. I don't give a shit. He's got a forced fumble. He's got 2. That's great. And he's got 2 interceptions. So right now, Kerby Joseph has 4 turnovers compared to the 1 by Kyle Hamilton. And I'm like, we really doing this. I don't even talk about Kyle Hamilton. I can care less. He's not a Lion. I root for the Lions. And then I get to looking a little bit further. I get to go on a little bit further. I look at Kyle Hamilton, and I look at the game breakdown, and I notice he doesn't start a single fucking game. I look at the defensive snaps, 50%, 54, 24, 27, 22, 45, 35, 53, 75. He finally gets 75% of the snaps. I go down. I say, let's see what's going on with the snap count down here. He's taking 251 snaps for 42% of the defensive snaps and hasn't started a single game. And then I'm going to look at Kerby Joseph because y'all want to do comparisons. So I want to get this out of the way so I ain't got to hear this shit no more until it's consistent on both sides. As if though one game changes anything. And I look at Kerby Joseph. And for the first couple games, look at that. Look at that. Not too much of the defensive snaps. Special teams play, he's all in on those. And he finally gets a chance to start at their injury. 70 snaps, 100% of those snaps he took, plus special teams. The next week, 95% of the snaps. The next week, 100%. The week after that, 100%. 64%. And then I look at this crap right here, snap counts. 55% of the snaps, 305 snaps. He's playing more. He's starting. And I got people talking about, well, why ain't Kyle Hamilton starting? They don't need him. They can move him in and out sparingly. But this is not about Kyle Hamilton. This is about why can't you understand that Pro Football Focus is full of shit to have you thinking that he's the second best safety in all of the football. The Lions played a good game on defense. Imagine if they played that way from the beginning. You're talking about a team setting themselves up for the playoffs. But instead of talking about that, you want to talk about these fake fictitious BS numbers with players who don't matter. And it's a joke. After one game. One game. The second overall best. The same thing that they did with Okudah and hyping up Okudah. And over the last few weeks, all I watch him do is get burnt because they can no longer support him with safety help. And granted, at least he was willing to fight to the end. At least he remembered to fight to the end. I give him that. But please stop with this. Please stop sending me messages acting like, oh, you're so wrong. We got ourselves a stud. Because you same people going to disappear the moment he disappears in the game. We can't even celebrate a play that by all measures was beautiful from Aiden Hutchinson because we're going to overhype it because Pro Football Focus said it. Please stop. Just please stop. What did I see from the game that I did love, though? Outside of the defensive performance. I thought our pass rush was still anemic. I did. I thought it was anemic. I thought there was too many times where we had no pass rush at all, but I also think there was too many times that they didn't call holding, but that's another story. And I thought on offense, there was too many times where we didn't get consistent enough in the run game or the pass game, which, by the way, I had a bunch of people send me a message about that too. Oh, TJ Hockenson who? Hyping up tight ends who had 1 and 2 catches. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. So I enjoyed that part. I thought I enjoyed Lil Wayne calling a spade, hitting Twitter, flat out saying, look, he's playing uninspired. He looks like he don't want to be there and he acting salty. But he's the reason why we don't have his receivers and we should have got rid of him before the season. The Lions fans should be doing the same thing on them channels that they backing up. I even had people sending me messages saying stuff like TJ Hockenson, while the Vikings was losing the game, TJ Hockenson ain't helping that team win at all. And he just go on to be their second leading receiver and win the game. Got it. But I want people to understand that as we go through and we look at this game and how it relates to our game coming up against the Bears, what happened with the Packers needs to translate over from defense, because this ain't the game where I need you to get pressure on the quarterback. This is the game where I need you to keep the quarterback in front of you. This is the game where I need you to still be able to get turnovers. Because while people was talking about pressures and all that other stuff, what won the game was getting the ball back to your offense. They were in scoring position 3 times. And one of the plays that Kirby Joseph made was a grossly underthrown ball, but kudos to him for getting back there. Because that could have been another score. So that's 4 scoring plays that our defense stopped. And instead of us praising the defense and getting hype about it, I got to listen to people come up with these exaggerated stories. In terms of the quarterback, I got bad news for y'all. I think you're pretty much stuck with Jared Goff next year. And to be honest with you, that kind of leads off into my next point, because I got to talk about Brad Holmes some more, and I got to talk about a former player who had much to say and how I think that this game is further proof. Even though our defense did their thing against the Packers, I think this game is further proof that we have to follow what Ndamukong Suh says. Because he realized the mistake they made with him. And if you can't see it, let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger for the people who are hard of seeing. It's simple. Hopefully, the GM and ownership are smart enough to build around him. And by him, he's referring to Aiden Hutchinson. Why? Because I hate to say it, this may not be the draft you get a quarterback. I put a poll up. I asked people, would you be upset if he didn't draft a quarterback? Many people said, hell yes. I don't think they're going to look to draft a quarterback that big. I'm sorry. They could, but I don't think they should. I think they should look at the defense, do what they put the did in this previous draft and went all defense, get a few players here and there. You got a few more offensive holes, but if you can't fit those in free agency, I don't care. Also, your fearless leader, Brad Holmes, has re-signed a wide receiver. Trinity Benson is back on the roster. Yay. But we ain't got no salary cap. You wonder why we ain't got it? Because it moves like this. You ain't got that. I just want you to understand. I think you're going to have Jared Goff next year. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. I think Jared Goff is your quarterback. which is another reason why I look at Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is going to have to prove me wrong and take a quarterback high that puts him on notice, and I don't think he's going to do that. He wants to prove that Jared Goff is not the problem, and I don't think that he's going to do that. I don't. The Lions, in my opinion, what they did on Sunday, that's inspiring. That's inspiring. How people all of a sudden couldn't understand this. And I see everybody comment. Don't put that evil on us, Luke. I see everybody's comments. But I'm finna. Oh, see he here, and I'm finna break a Packer fan in, so he can talk about what he saw, because he was the only one. He was the only one who said that the Packers were going to lose, and he was sure of it. He was an absolute sure of it. I was like, "You're crazy." He said, "I'm telling you, you're going to beat the Packers. You're going to beat them." I said, "I don't see it. I don't see it." And he's the only one that said that. So he'll be jumping in a second to talk about it too. But I think when you look at this Lions team, your general manager has continued to show you things that's different. 313 Kurt says, "Man, don't bring no opponents in here, Luke. You'll be surprised. He's been in the chat the whole time since I've been on here, and he's been a Packer fan." I don't believe that they're going to do it. Old Timer Dave.
Yes,
is with me. What's going on, sir?
Not a whole lot, buddy. What do you know?
Listen, let me first give you your kudos. You are the only one who said that your team was going to lose. And the person you blamed that you said was going to be the reason you lose was going to be who?
It was going to be the Packers losing.
Right? Okay. And so you watched that game, and what came across your mind? What did you see in the game that stood out to you? Because you know now your quarterback is acting like we didn't beat him, that they just made mistakes.
Well, and partially he's true. He's right. He did. He played like crap. He admitted that. He played absolutely terrible. That's probably the worst game I've ever seen him play, including when his first year as running the team.
Well, I mean, he was forced into a lot of it. I mean,
yes, he was.
I'll put it this way: his arrogance led to his demise.
At a point, yes. Now, that being said, there was a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball Sunday. Surprisingly, I think there was like 8 people total that were hurt.
Now, that's another thing that we didn't get to really talk about when it came to that game, because for all the talk about where they made mistakes, I basically saw a bunch of players get smacked left or right and get carried off one by one. And then even on the play where, what's his damn name? Rashawn Gary. On that play, he was trying to get around a block, and the blocker did their job. And I'm like, look, they were getting smacked. I mean, every time a receiver caught the ball, they would jump up and try to signal first down, and then nothing, you know, they weren't in the game no more. Aaron Jones knocked out the game. Like, you just go through the list of people that they were knocking out the game. This defense showed up that day. That was 100% the Lions beat them, not that they made mistakes, because that could be said for any team. The Lions made mistakes, right? The Lions had injuries, right? You know, people forget our top receiver was St. Brown. We didn't have a top tight end. You didn't have nobody opposite of St. Brown that you had to worry about. You didn't have DeAndre Swift. In fact, your receivers was Tom Kennedy, St. Brown, and Old Timer Dave. This was the Lions receivers.
Pretty much. Okudah, myself, I thought Okudah looked like he was out to hurt somebody bad Sunday.
Good.
I'm serious. And he didn't really care who it was.
Good, because I think when you watch Okudah, he got tired of it. Even when he got beat, he ran back and stripped that ball out. Listen, everything about that game that should have been talked about was being skipped with stupid media doing stupid stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, this team was more physical. This team was more dominating on that defensive side of the ball. They was relentless on the run. Even though when y'all would get a decent run, they were still doing things. Dylan fumbled.
Yep.
They were aggressive, and I think it got lost in the sauce because of Pro Football Focus stupid grades. and people just can't help themselves. They going over the Packers channels. Oh, you won the game. Don't apologize for that.
Nope, not at all. I called that game 2 weeks in advance.
I know. You're the only one saying that, and I was like, he's crazy. You were the only one. And I was thinking the whole time that, like, yo, it's no way possible that that's the game, that's going to happen. And to you know, I even had a guy who told me that, oh, well, you know, good, congratulations, the Lions beat a bad team. I said, oh, whoa, we're not doing that. No, we're not. I said, because the reality is this: as much as you would like to sit there and say the Lions beat a bad team, your Hall of Fame quarterback only mustered 9 points. And if that was Matthew Stafford, this team, this fan base, and everybody would have rioted.
Pretty much.
So, but go ahead.
You
Dave.
You guys did an awesome job of keeping us out of the end zone. There was times when we went for it that I don't think we should have. I could see 3 points slipping away on a couple occasions, which would have made it a different ball game. But I'm not the coach. I'm not the one that has to make those calls. Yeah, James, you're right. Your rookies showed up. They came to play, but just by the same token, Detroit always plays us tough. No matter what, they always play us tough.
Yeah, I think the Lions are 0-2 in the last 2 meetings. You know, that's how crazy. In the last one, they claim that, oh, well, Rodgers only played the first half. I'm like, he was getting smacked up then. Like I'm not trying to be funny. It was happening then.
Yep.
But I think, to me, I wanted you to come on because I wanted you to have your flowers. You called it. You said that they was going to lose. You're a Packers fan through and through. You even get your Packer hat on now. And you said your team was going to lose, and they did. And you called out everybody on top of Aaron Rodgers on down. And kudos to you for doing that. I wish, again, I'm doing this because I want the Lions fan base, the Pride Nation, to understand that your team, for one game, I'm not talking about for the universe, I'm not talking about for all of the season, for one game, they were just a better team. They were more physical. They were more aggressive. There was more sense of urgency with them. There was more anger with them. There was more pride with them. They showed up. And they did things that was out of the box.
They did a lot of stuff that the Packers weren't expecting.
I mean, true. All time of day, let me get some people up in here. You know, I got a few people trolling. I love you too. My man, I Am Salty is in the building. What's going on, Salty? How did you know? Obviously, this is your chance to speak. I see you, on some other shows, and they don't really give you a lot of room to speak. They just respond to you with things without having a conversation. But what are your thoughts on the Lions beating the Packers? Like, it wasn't. I want people to understand this and emphasize this. The Lions beat the Packers. Say it with me.
Yo.
The Lions beat the Packers. And I want y'all to understand that. But what are your thoughts of that?
You can hear me, bro?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we beat them. I feel like it's been a long time coming, right? Like, this team has lost to the Packers for decades, right? So I think a lot of fans are just happy that they finally beat Big Brother, right?
See, I don't even like that statement, Salty.
I mean, I'll put it like this, Luke. I know we beat them, but they really beat themselves, in my opinion, more than we beat them.
See, I told y'all. Look, I told y'all.
No. Let me explain why.
No, Salty. Salty, I hate. I'm gonna give you a minute to explain, but I'm gonna give you a minute to explain. But I want you to understand something, okay? What you're doing is you're being apologetic for beating the shit out of a team, and what you're doing is you're sympathizing. You're sympathizing and giving more credence to a team who you just dominated. And I don't care what nobody say. They can say, oh, it was a sloppy game. They can say, oh, it wasn't a good game. It was just no. One team showed up
a win,
and did what they were supposed to do And it showed. They knocked players out. They confused quarterbacks. They created turnovers, and they scored more points and had the other team score less. And the idea of saying that, oh, they beat themselves is bullshit. The idea
well,
that,
no, hear me out, though.
Their big brother is BS.
Well, no, hear me out, though. They had almost 500 yards of offense, okay?
Don't care.
They had the ball. Listen, let me explain. They had the ball with a chance to win, which they should have won. Because there was a pass interference call that was missed on Jerry Jacobs at the end that would have gave them the ball on the 1 yard line with 4 tries to get it. Okay, so we didn't dominate them in any fashion, man. They had 500 yards of offense, man. Yes, we got turnovers. Yes, our rookies look good, which in turn makes us feel good as Lions fans. Like, hey, look, we're going somewhere, but you put up 15 points. Your offense was anemic. We literally had to have trick plays to score touchdowns. Jared Goff looked horrible, still throwing turnovers out there. It wasn't a dominating win against a division rival, man. It just wasn't. I don't know what you were watching.
I watched a team that went for it on 4th down and got it once. I watched a team that got to the red zone 3 times and walked out with no points. I watched a team that tried to get more going, but only frustrated themselves further. And when you talk about this idea that they have 500 yards of offense, where was it? Because according to ESPN, that's 389 yards that they had of total yards. And that's on 9 drives.
Okay.
Right?
400. 400 yards.
Well, we're not even we had 389. Let's give it the number that it is. It's 389. We don't gotta give them more, because at that point, what you're doing is you're downplaying and skipping over. I see you in the back. You're downplaying and skipping over the fact that this team did do their job. They did come in and handle their business. This isn't about trying to be like, oh, this team didn't handle their business or this. No, they showed up and did their job. You want to see a dominating performance? Let me show you. The team that gets into the end zone 3 times and don't score, that's dominating. Here's another fun fact. How many times did they sack Jared Goff?
Did we sack him? I don't think we did.
No, you didn't.
I don't think they did, no.
No, you didn't. Were you able to run the ball?
We heard him a couple times, but we never sacked him.
Yeah, you were able to run the ball. But this is the first game where the Lions committed to the freaking run and had more rushing attempts than passing attempts. They followed the game plan. When you look at the turnovers here, look at the penalties. The penalties is a joke. But you had 1 turnover. 1. And all the time that they had, if this was reversed and that was Matthew Stafford, they would have been saying, oh, he's padding stats. Why you ain't saying that for Aaron Rodgers? Why give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they beat themselves more than we beat them? Because what I saw was a team that beat them. What I saw was a team that took advantage of opportunities and said, you know what? They're not going to get in this end zone. Why can't we just say that and say that it was for 1 game?
Okay, so you want to look at the plays where they turned it over in the red zone, right? Let's go to Aiden Hutchinson's first interception, right? The left tackle was wide open. Hutchinson wasn't even near him. And he threw the ball to Hutchinson. If he throws the ball 5 yards to the left, it's a touchdown. That is called them beating themselves, man. It does happen in sports, Luke,
Okay, so
one team doesn't show up right, and they beat themselves, man.
So if we're doing ifs and fifths, we can let's play this game all day. If the Lions had their receivers, we score more points.
No, right? I'm not saying if. I'm not saying ifs. I'm saying look at the balls that he threw. He played horrible, man. This is one of the worst games in Rodgers' career.
And the Lions had nothing to do with that. The ball just was handed to him in their hand. He walked up to him. They didn't make no plays. Nobody was good. Nobody was decent. Nobody did anything of substance out there. They were just out there getting handed footballs.
I mean, that's what it looked like to me. We generated a couple pressures. What did we sack him?
I can't make this up, people. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I see.
Tell me on our defensive line who generated pressure? Aiden? Nope. Was it Aleem McNeil? Nope. Who had an outstanding game that generated so much pressure that that makes you feel like we took the game from them.
The
We literally scored
the
15
problem is
points.
with people
man.
is they think that pressure is what results in things. There's different types of pressure. You can get a pressure on a quarterback on the stat sheet, but that don't mean that it's real pressure. So all I'm saying to you is this. The idea that you're saying that there were times where he was throwing under duress and getting hit and throwing the ball short that led to turnovers. And Dave, who's a Packer fan, will contest to this. I'm not saying that they got home consistently, but there were times where it happened. And in the times where it didn't happen, there were times where he threw the ball and people made plays, and you can't denounce that. Let me bring in Karen Rogers, who has something to say. Karen Rogers, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? It's Karen Rogers. He's a mail-in here. Look, man, anytime you beat Karen Rogers, I don't care if we beat him 2-0. That's a celebratory day.
Right.
I don't care what the score is. I don't care about stats. It means absolutely nothing to me. There's only one stat I care about. WL. Win-loss stat. That's it. We got to win. We beat Karen. Hey, man, I'm happy as can be. Like, what can we? I've seen so many stats in games. We blew up the stat sheet. Seattle Seahawks. We blew up the stat sheet. Oh, this game and that game, man. I don't care about that. I just want wins, and we beat them. And seeing him take his helmet and getting all mad, we beat him, man. We beat him. And I'm happy that we beat him.
And what's annoying me is how, and again, it's not just Salty. I'm not putting this all on Salty, but it's annoying me at how many fans I went to these videos. I'm telling you, I'm watching it, and I'm watching these videos, and I'm saying to myself, yo, they are literally praising the Packers as if though the Lions just wasn't there. Even old-timer Dave comes in and say, I called it 2 weeks ago that we were going to lose. He's a Packer. Dave, put your head up so they can see your goddamn hat. So they can see that you're not faking this, Dave.
No, I'm definitely not faking it, but my camera froze. So what you see is what you get.
Ah, damn, Dave.
hey, see, I can say this too, man. As Jared Goff was playing awful too, and we still won. So like, as Goff plays awful, Aaron Rodgers played awful, but guess what? We still won. We beat him, man. And Kirby Joseph, 2 interceptions. Aiden Hutchinson, interception. That sick pass defense that Kirby did that would have resulted in a touchdown is a perfect throw, and he knocked that bad boy down. That was pivotal. That's the type, like, if they got that touchdown, they probably win that game. What was that in the first half? Kirby jumps in the air, slaps that thing down. That was, the deep ball. That was a sick play. That was ridiculous. And it was plays like that help us win this game.
I mean, the sack that you get from Barnes, right? You got these plays from Barnes that you got where he's on the goal line, stopping the run. Y'all don't realize this. Derek Barnes. Okay, let me get y'all close. Let me get a little bit closer. Let me bring it up a little bit. Okay, all right. I'm not trying to be sexy with y'all. I want y'all to make sure y'all hear this.
Fair Wench Project.
Derek Barnes, your linebacker, filled a gap and stopped A.J. Dillon dead in his damn tracks. He did that again against Aaron Jones. You literally had a linebacker to fill a gap in a football game. Can we take a moment to accept that and just appreciate that? Why be apologetic to a team you beat? As if though they were good.
I'm not, and here's the thing, I'm not trying to be apologetic to the Packers. I'm not saying like they're still all, high and mighty. Like, like Mike said, a win's a win. I don't care if we win 3-0, right? A win's a win, but you can't say we dominated these guys, man. We didn't. We didn't even put up 20 points. I don't care how many points we put up.
Let me ask you a question. Who's the worst defense in the league?
Well, I'm pretty sure we still are.
Okay, but I'm just asking.
Statistically.
Right. Statistically, who's the worst defense in the league?
I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah.
Who's dead last in pass rush?
I don't know. I don't know our stats, man, but I'm pretty sure we're like
who's dead last
defense
in
the last 20
in defensive yards and scoring. We are, right?
Yeah. Last 23 years.
How can you say, hold on, stay with me. How can you say we didn't dominate them when you had the absolute worst defense? You had multiple people out, and you still turned around and held a team with Hall of Fame quarterback to 9 points.
Yeah, but this guy was down to practice squad wide receivers. It looked like the Lions.
What did the
roster on
Lions
the
have?
field, man?
What did the Lions have?
That's what I'm saying. It looked like our roster.
Okay,
That's
and
the
our
same
roster won.
Yours
I feel-
wide receivers are in better shape than
But-
ours were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Look, man. Like it's in the NFL. It's Karen Rodgers. He had a bad game, but he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL last 20 years. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give no excuse. I'm just happy as hell. I'm gonna enjoy this win. I think everybody should enjoy this win. Give credit where credit's due. Defense, young players on defense, by the way, standing up. The young guys. I think that's the most impressive part. Watching Kirby, watching Okudah smacking people around. Yeah, he had a little bit of a game. Wasn't the greatest game in the world, but he's still a young player. Malcolm Rodriguez, Joshua Pascal, these young players coming in there, and they beat an NFC North, a team that we all hate. Well, except for old timer Dave, because you've been beating us for the last 40 years. So it feels good for us Lions fans to beat the guy.
I've been a Packer fan for 65 years. That's not going to change now.
And again,
we don't win much over there.
Listen, all I'm saying is this: why be apologetic to it? This idea that they they lost the game more than we won it. They got 9 points. How many turnovers? We just gave you the interceptions. They fumbled the ball a few times. We were just way more aggressive. We were out physical them. And I think that at some point, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of fans not even understanding how the fuck to feel about a win, getting mad to my we lost our draft position. If the general manager is who you say he is, doesn't matter if you're picking 1 or 32.
Who cares, man? Right. If you want to change a culture, you gotta win. You gotta win.
Right.
Like that's the one thing that the Lions, we've been picking so high for so many years, and it still resulted in what we have now. If you look at the Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, other teams out there, perennial winners, they still win, and they just draft well. And so I don't care about draft position unless you're the Rams. I am gonna make sure that I root for them every single week to lose. But I want the Lions to win. It's going to be difficult. I think somebody in the comment section here says Sunday's a big game. That's going to be a little bit difficult for us because we got a dual threat mobile quarterback. And I think he's going to kill us.
It has to be
but I'm enjoy this win now.
It has to be consistent. All I'm telling people is enjoy the win. I'm bringing in my questionable podcast brother, my man Miko, who had one of the best analogies when describing the player as Greek yogurt. My man Miko in the building. What's going on? Miko.
Hey, good, Luke.
Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to get a workout in, man. But you over here got my blood running hot, man.
I knew I was gonna piss you off, man. Talk to me, because I mean, I'm frustrated with our fan base reaction to football these days. I mean, you win, and you have the group that's extremely high, and then the group that's extremely low, and then you got the group that's just like, oh, we won a football game. Whoa, like, come on, man. So what did I say that pissed you off, Miko?
I'm not gonna. I mean, it is. It's the dominating thing. It's the. I can't sit here and pretend like this team played that much better than the Packers, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this was one team dominating another. This was one bad team being a little bit better than a bad team.
Okay,
like that's what this was.
Let's do this. You don't have to pretend, right? I don't need you to pretend. I just need you to see it with your own 2 eyes. The other team forced more turnovers. The other team held them to 9 points. That seems pretty dumb. I mean, in what league do you hold a team to a single-digit points like the NFL and it's not a dominating performance?
Then this is what I need you to do, then, Luke. For me, and for my sanity, this is what I need you to do. Say that the defense was dominating, because when you say team, that encompasses both sides, all 3 phases of this team. And that wasn't the case for this game, right? The defense showed up. And I'm all for that. I'll sit here and say that the defense dominated.
How many points did the defense score?
No. None.
Okay. So how did those
points come on board?
But
they did their job. But hold on. But how many times have we seen this defense be the reason that this offense hasn't won?
What year?
Okay,
Like
so they
2014?
so they
You want to
haven't.
go back that far? Because you can't say that for 2022. The
Listen,
defense
all
ain't
I'm
done a
saying
damn
is-
thing for 2022 until this damn game.
Right, and that's why I'm saying I can give the defense credit. I can be like, yo, the defense showed up, the defense dominated, the defense put up a great performance, and your offense did just enough. Right? We like you would not sit here and say that offense can come out and perform like that this week and still get a dub, would you?
We're not talking about this week. We're talking
Would you?
about the Packers
No,
game.
okay, but I'm saying, but I'm talking about okay, and I am as well. So I'm not going to act as if that offensive performance is good enough to be like, well, this was domination. No, your defense went out there and they put up a great performance.
If they won the game,
Right, they went out there.
won the
Kirby showed
game
up in a big
10.
way.
If they won that game 10-9, I can understand your argument. But as the same way you could talk about them missing points on the field, leaving points on the field, I'm telling you the Lions left points on the field. The difference where I started to realize the Lions' dominance of this game is where I watched them in crucial points of the game do what was necessary to get the win. They ran the ball effectively in areas that they needed to run it in to keep it alive and get them at least in field goal range. They caught the ball when they needed to be catched. And our top receiver was literally just freaking what the hell is his damn name? Amon-Ra St. Brown. So at that point, whether people like the word dominate or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reality is this. They could have scored more points too, right? The Lions could have easily scored more points, right? But the point I'm looking at is yes, did the defense dominate?
On which drive?
Sure did.
Hold on. On which drive? On which drive? On which drive, Luke? Because I remember them only having one other opportunity to put up points, and your coach and the head coach decided not to take those points. Other than that, like I said, the offense did just enough. They did just enough. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like 137 yards passing is sufficient. I'm not going to pretend that 9 yards.
Don't worry about the 137 yards passing. Let's talk about the rushing though. Let's talk about when Justin Jackson gets a first down on a big third.
Listen, let's see here. And if you want to sit here and be like, hey, I think we're saying the same thing here, right? The offense did enough. But I'm not going to praise the entire team. I will praise the defense. I will say the defense dominated. I'm saying that the defense imposed their will, absolutely. And the defense won you this game. Because if the defense doesn't do what they did, if Kirby doesn't get those interceptions, Aiden doesn't get an interception, then yeah, we're talking about a completely different game.
I want you to
Are
see.
we not?
I want you to see. I want you to see why I said this. Look who the receivers were. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond,
Luke,
and
I know. That's why I said 137.
James Mitchell,
That's why I said 137
Zelcher, and Brock. Bruh, look at this.
How about you scroll left a little bit?
Yeah, let's
Look at the Packers receivers, man.
Yeah, let's compare.
Look at the Packers receivers.
Let's compare them to ours.
Look at them.
Please.
Do you know any of them? Do you
Yes.
know any of those guys?
Yes, you know who Robert Toney is. You know who Christian Watson is. You know who
Josiah
Star is. You know who Romeo
I
Dobbs
don't know
is.
who that is.
You know who Mercedes Lewis
Who is
is.
Samari?
You know who Aaron Jones is. You know who AJ Dillon is. You know who Sammy Watkins is. Stop playing with me. You know who them people are. And you know who they were before that game. You didn't know who these people did. Look at this goddamn receiving core and tell me that receiving core wasn't better.
Luke, you lying.
Yeah, but Dobbs went out in the first quarter, man. On the first play of the game.
Okay,
Watson
I don't
went out in
care.
the second quarter.
Who's hits? I don't care.
Aaron Jones went out early. What are you?
I don't
Listen,
care.
our
I'm not going to
rookie plays
apologize.
really
I'm
well.
not going to apologize for my team being more physical and knocking
I'm not
players out. Don't
apologizing
care.
either. I'm gonna accept the win too, right? But I'm just
And
saying
those
I'm not gonna be delusional
hold on.
enough to say
I'll put a poll up.
we
I'll put a
dominated.
poll up.
Listen, man, as a Lions fan, I know what it feels like to get dominated, okay? And we didn't do any of that. That we have been dominated over the years, man. Packers put up 40 on us, 50 on us. What about that game where Matt Flynn threw for 600 yards on us? You remember that game?
Listen.
That's
if
a
you want to go,
domination.
hold on. Listen, if you want to go back to 1952, feel free to go there. I'm talking about what just happened.
No, I'm
I
talking.
ain't talking about all that other stuff. You go back, and I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Just simply stay in what just happened. Hold us up.
I'm not mocking people in there thinking that I'm mocking people because of my camera. I'm in my bed with my cell phone. I'm not in the office. So, I'm not trying to mock people. I'm chilling, dog. I'm chill. Look, man, I don't care. A win is a win is a win. I will break any kneecaps of opposing players. I get them drunk. I want to win, man. I've been doing stats my whole life for the Lions team, and the only stat I care about is W and L, and I'm tired of taking the L. I'll take the W anyway. I'll drug these.
But Mike,
hell yeah,
Mike, and I agree with you. And I agree with you.
I want to ask you, Mike.
To apologize.
Look at Mike, but Mike, just look at this.
Anybody to apologize?
Just look at this, Mike, because my whole issue is I'm tired of the apologetic Lions fan base. Mike, look at the goddamn receiving core. Did you know before Sunday? Did you know who Allen Lazard was?
Hey, look, man, look. If they had Devontae Adams, if they had all these great players, and we still beat them, I'm great. If we beat them by 52-51, I'm happy.
Mike, that's not
look, people say Detroit Lions, like, well, you look at the opposing team. Man, our team's been broken down with so many injuries throughout the years. I don't care, man. Like, I just want to, like.
We didn't even have a quarterback that you can even talk about. They did more.
You know what I'm going to remember about this game 5 years from now? I'm not going to remember the stats of the players who played. I'm going to remember Karen Rodgers taking his helmet and being real upset, and that's going to make me feel good 5 years from now. like that's what I'm going to remember. Just like that Dallas game when they picked the flag up. I'll remember how mad I was. I'm just happy to win, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
Man. That's the same. Yeah.
But my issue that I have with it is this. I don't like the idea of trying to make it seem like, oh, the Lions receivers was better than. No, they wasn't. no, they wasn't. Tom Kennedy was working at Jimmy John's.
Who's saying that?
And well, that's what. I'm not saying you said that, Miko, but I'm saying that's what I felt that y'all were trying to lean
I'm just
to.
saying in general, like.
Oh well, you just heard Santi say that they had better receivers.
That, like this offense isn't good either, right? And they were helped out immensely by the defense limiting Aaron Rodgers. Like, so we're gonna talk about this game, and we're gonna talk about like, yo, if you're excited, I think you should be excited about the potential of your defense. I think you should be concerned about the state of your offense. This offense.
Oh yeah, I'm really concerned about our offense.
3 weeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you could be.
I've been concerned about. I'm really concerned about this offense. Jared Goff and the way they're operating the last 4 weeks. Everybody keeps telling me you have to just go all defense. Offense is perfectly fine. That's not what I've been seeing.
Well,
not what I've been seeing at all.
You could be worried about the offense, right? Like you could be worried about the offense, and that's cool. We're just talking about Sunday. I'm not talking about the Bears game yet. I'm not talking about what happened before Sunday. I'm talking about Sunday. Sunday they came into it with Khalif Raymond, Tom Kennedy, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's your receiving starting core. That's them. Them your guys. And they went out.
I'm happy.
And they won.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, to do that with that, as you had DeAndre Swift. I think he probably took how many snaps do you think he took that whole game? But probably them goddamn.
Man,
4.
he ain't never taken any. He gets like 5 snaps.
Okay,
yeah,
so
4 snaps.
4 or 5 snaps. Just to give you some pass help out the backfield. Like I'm just saying, like look at this.
That's all we use them for. Yeah.
Those guys didn't have what receiving core? There ain't a person on this earth who watched football who thinks the Lions receiving core was better in that game than that. What they were.
Yeah, but you just said we dominated them.
We did.
That them stats don't show no domination to me.
Defensively, sure.
They got the win.
It looks
they
like on the left
more.
side of the screen.
Listen.
On the left side of the screen, looks like they dominated a lot more than the right side.
In football, what happens is one team has a chance to possess the ball on offense, the other one has it on defense. And then the defense does their job to give the ball back to their offense.
Luke.
And once they get that, they got to score. If the Lions didn't score...
So you're telling me our offense dominated Sunday?
I'm telling you that the Detroit Lions dominated the Packers on Sunday.
Okay.
So you can't... But you can't say
he ain't gonna commit to saying the offense dominated.
The offense dominated the defense of the Packers. They put up more points on the Packers. The Packers couldn't hold them.
No, see.
Now I said it. So
now
what?
They capitalized on they capitalized on the opportunities when the Packers offense did. Like I said, like you got 2 interceptions in the red zone with opportunities to score. That's your defense coming up big.
The offense and the defense made plays when it mattered. Listen, Black Spirit's right. They made plays when it mattered. And no matter how much you want to slice that, that's just the reality. True. They made plays when it mattered.
But they missed a lot too when it mattered too.
See, this is the problem. We get so conditioned into thinking that dominating is where you score all these points and you hold it. No. A domination can be a low-scoring game. You don't have to have a game where a lot of points are scored. A dominated game can be a low-scoring game. When you make things so hard on the other team and then you still do enough on your side of the ball to put points up to put more pressure on that team, that's a dominating performance by the Lions. Just for Sunday. Y'all can harp on the idea it's not dominating.
Like I said, Luke, my whole thing is I don't think the word dominate is the word. I don't think.
I wouldn't use that word either. I wouldn't use that word either. You're not even as a team.
I'm not asking you to use the word. If you look at what I said the Lions did it. You said okay, that's all 3 phases. No, listen, that's fine. You said I said that's all 3 phases. I said that's fine. But guess what? When I looked at that game, our offense was still moving the ball when they did move the ball, and they made plays where it mattered.
What do you mean?
But look up the word domination. Definition of domination.
Wait a minute. I want everybody to have a chance to talk. Miko, you said theirs moved the ball too, right? Right? But they didn't close the deal. They didn't score. They got 1 touchdown and a field goal. They went for 2 and got stopped by the defense. And the offense went for 2 and got it. When the plays counted and needed to count, they got it done. That's dominating.
No, that's
y'all just want all these points. That's not how it works.
Dominating.
Well, listen, if you disagree, I'm not mad at you disagreeing. But
I'm gonna hop back and chat, man.
That's dominating.
I gotta hop in the car, but I'm gonna keep listening. So
appreciate you, bro.
Keep up the good work, Luke.
Appreciate you. Again, I just don't want to hear the apologetic Lions fans coming in, people coming. It's not a domination. What do you care? That's them semantics. I don't care about that trash. The reality is this: when the plays needed to be made, they made them. And whether you like it or not, it happened. And if they dominated them on defense, cool. If they dominated them on special teams, cool. But what I watched was a game where the Packers, I really couldn't say they did much good. I can say that the Lions did a lot good, and it wasn't just always on defense. It was special teams with certain stops inside the 5-yard line and stuff like that. When 2 or more of those phases are operating, that's a domination for me. My man Lions Rumble in the building. All-timer Dave, you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Lions Rumble, you in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? What's up, Miko? Old timer. What's up,
pretty
boys?
Good Lions, how are you?
Man.
Listen. I gotta argue with apologetic fans. I gotta argue about the view of domination because we gotta score a lot of points and hold them to a very few. But our offense did what was necessary when it counted. And were there moments where you could say, I wish you could have that back? Sure. But watch this. Old-timer Dave.
Yes, sir.
Were there moments where the Packers wish they could have had back?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Were there moments where the Packers wish they could have had that back?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay. And when talking about moving the ball, did you feel that the offense of the Packers, did you feel that they were good?
They had their moments, but nowhere near enough.
Okay. And were you satisfied with the performance from your team's offense?
Absolutely not.
What about your team's defense? Were you satisfied with that?
At moments, yes.
But overall, were you satisfied with their defense?
No.
What about special teams? Where they're letting the ball get to the 1-yard line majority of the damn time? Were you satisfied with that?
Not at all.
Okay, so from that standpoint, you felt that the Lions played a better overall game.
Yes.
So why can't my fan base see the same thing and say that?
I get where your fan base is coming from because it's not something that they're used to.
See, that's a damn shame, Dave. I get that you're not used to it. Listen, I wasn't always used to getting with the people, the certain females, but when you got it, and you gotta embrace it when you get it. That's all I'm saying. We're not talking about next week. We're not talking about the weeks before. We're talking about Sunday. That's all. Just enjoy the damn win. Don't apologize for winning. If you look at the phases of the game, special teams, defense, offense, the Lions dominated on 2, if you want to go down the road and say all 3, but they dominated on at least 2 of those phases, and for the most part, our offense was way more strategic in getting done what they need to get done. Keep in mind, when we got them turnovers, it wasn't like, see, this is the thing people don't understand. When we got them turnovers, it wasn't like we got them turnovers and put our offense in short field. How did they get down there to score? How?
That's when your offense played again.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Rumble, talk to me, man.
Man, I thought it was a...
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got a question because they want me to ask them this. Old Timer Dave, 313 Kurt want me to ask you, did the Lions dominate the Packers?
At times.
There go your answer.
Yes. And at times, our defense dominated the Lions.
Thank you. You know, it's not just a score, people. A score does not guarantee a domination. Rumble, talk to the people.
Yeah, man, I thought our secondary showed up when it mattered most, which was in the red zone. They somehow ghosted Aaron Rodgers twice in the red zone. Big plays. I mean, from our D line, you know, Aiden Hutchinson grabbed a interception, and then the unfortunate, you know, face mask pass that ended up in the hands of Kirby Joseph. That can frustrate somebody of Aaron Rodgers' caliber. He's not used to throwing picks in the red zone. That's not his MO. If he's in the red zone, it's guaranteed points. So, and with it being a you know, NFC Division North opponent, I say all in all, man, throughout the years he's been known to carve the Lions up, man. And unfortunate, this time we had his number. So kudos to those guys for showing up. Kudos to Aaron Glenn for having a game plan. And man, I'm happy. I'm not one of those fair weather fans who are like, oh, we didn't dominate. It's like we did dominate. We stole the ball twice in the red zone against Aaron Rodgers. That's domination. We don't do that very often.
Not just in the red zone. I mean, really close in the red zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like within 5 yards. Like what? Are you kidding me?
Like we can't even praise the fact that our DN/edge rusher, who read him from the beginning to end, dropped back and got between the guy and the ball. Like on one hand, y'all want, oh, he's so athletic, and then he does some athletic. Oh, he was wide open. Well, guess what? You had an athletic guy make an athletic play. Can he have it, please? And there was other things in that game that we didn't talk about, like how Isaiah Buggs and how John Pascal was still hitting the shit out of Aaron Rodgers well after. They were hitting him anyway to let him know we was here. He was grabbing at his thumb. Like, come on. They was just more physical. Domination, sometimes, for example, right? Anybody can say, oh, you got dominated when a person scored. Let's say we playing basketball, and it's me, Old Timer Dave, and it's Rumble, and we're playing basketball against some middle school kids. And we beat them, I don't know, 107-10. People will say, oh, y'all dominated them.
That means you and Rumble had a hell of a game because I ain't going to make it that long.
He said that means you and Rumble had a hell of a game.
You'll have all the assists.
I just don't like how. Shout out to my man Adam from over there. I just don't like how the fans are being apologetic and over there. Oh, we glad y'all. Man, come on, bro. We took the win. We wasn't the favorite. We wasn't supposed to win that game. Hell, everybody thought it was going to be a get well, minus Old Timer Dave. Everybody but Old Timer Dave, Packer fan, Old Timer Dave, are the only ones who did not believe that the Packers were going to. He said it. The Packers was going to lose. Y'all have nothing to worry about.
When we lost to the Redskins, that's when I called this game.
Yeah, I still thought she was crazy. I thought she was crazy. And when you said that, I was like, you're nuts. It's like it's not happening. Our defense is that bad.
Yeah, we got to take this victory for what it is, man. It's an NFC North
yes
opponent who's had our number every year. Every year we play him. And do you guys not remember the Miracle in Motown where he threw a ridiculous...
I remember I was there, but we didn't got to go that far back, Rumble. Just go back to the last two games the Lions played against the Packers. They won.
Heartbreakers. You're right. Yeah. So
just embrace the win. And I'm just saying, just stop with it. Just stop with it. If y'all don't think it's a domination, good. You don't have to. Luke do. He don't care if y'all disagree. You can't show me where the Packers on two or more phases was better than us. You can't show me that. You can't say they were better than us on special teams. You can't say they were better than us on defense. You can't say they were better than us on offense. You want to look at yards? Go and look at the yards. Don't give a shit. They put up 9 points. Don't care. Just embrace and enjoy the win. You beat a division opponent.
You know what I saw in that game Sunday, Luke?
What you saw?
Last year's game between us and San Francisco. I saw an exact carbon copy of your defense playing like San Francisco's against us and doing the exact same thing to us.
But our fan base would say that the 49ers dominated that game. They just want to say it for our own team, and that's what's bothering me. We won on 2 or more phases. You can't say that for the Packers. You can't tell me the Packers offense was like better than your offense when the Packers offense gave the ball up at least 5 times. And before you say, oh, well, they didn't lose those fumbles, the hell they didn't. It cost them problems.
there was some hard hitting. Like we showed up. Our team showed up, man. There was some hard hits.
They did. I agree with that 100%.
Wow. I mean, they had a fire lit under them this last week by far.
And
now the biggest question is can they carry it with them?
Yep. Can they be consistent? The same way I'm asking you to do the same thing for when you hyping up these damn players. Talk to me when they're consistent. Tell me about Kirby Joseph when he's consistent.
Yeah.
I saw fans literally say it's time for us. It's time for us to move on from Tracy Walker and start Kirby Joseph and Deshaun Elliott. I'm like, we bringing Elliott back. He's still. I told y'all he wasn't gonna play 16 games. I told y'all. I said, I guarantee you, this man won't play 16 games. He ain't played a full season, and I don't know how long.
That whole thing.
We can't talk about the general manager in this BS. You just brought Trinity. You just brought Trinity Benson back. Yeah, that's a good move.
Man. Yeah, I mean, that prove it deal was what it was for, in case Kirby didn't, in case the rookie wasn't ready for prime time. So I understand why he did it, but I can't see him. I can't see these guys taking Tracy's spot yet. He got resigned. He is our guy in that backfield or in that secondary right now.
I would like to see Okudah play like he did Sunday, just a little more controlled.
You know what's funny though? Okudah to me, and I don't care. Y'all keep on disagreeing with this. I don't know why y'all keep disagreeing with this. He's a fucking safety. The moment y'all start to realize this, the better things can get. You're
safety.
Right.
I mean, he's not the fastest. You're right. I mean, the way he was laying the lumber Sunday, he was going in there with reckless abandonment, and that's what you want out of your safety. He was really like trying to lay the lumber, man. He was trying to make a play.
Because he's a freaking safety.
He really is. I see that now. I like he took Kirby Joseph out the game for a little bit, and he was just out there laying lumber, man.
313 Kurt says, give me a signature Tracy Walker game, though. I can give you that, but I don't even have to give you those games. I can just simply ask you, what is the signature Deshaun Elliott game that deserves to keep him here when he hasn't even finished a full season yet? Like as Looney Tunes pointed out, he hurt our own player because he was so busy trying to kill people. He's a safety. And the reality of it is this, that if you were to tell me that you were going to come into it and you're going to say, hey, I got Okudah, Tracy Walker, and then I still got Kirby Joseph. If Kirby Joseph can stay consistent as he is right now, great. If he can't, great. You know, he's still a rookie. I get it. But I'm looking for consistency. I'm not looking to hand out trophies, you know, at the one game. I just think when you look at Okudah and how he plays, the last cornerback that I've seen play like that, where he wanted the ball and was playing aggressive, you got to go back to Charles Tillman, and Charles Tillman was going for turnovers, right? But Charles Tillman was better in coverage. Okudah is not that he's a safety. I just don't.
Yeah, he gets burnt.
Yes, I won't argue that with you at all, Luke. He'd be better off as a safety, straight up.
No.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to have the ball in front of him so where he can make a play. Sometimes he can't make a play on the ball. He's holding, he's grabbing,
Only Miko could be up there working out and be like, by the way, I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Lions won, Goff played like shit, and a win for me. So Miko is under the belief that the more we can still win and Goff still sucks, that's more proof that you got to get rid of Goff. I don't think Goff is going anywhere.
I don't either. You can't afford to get rid of him.
No, I think he's too much. I think he stays.
If you were to cut him, there's what, $100 million in cap space, dead money.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he stays.
We keep buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling.
Yeah.
313 Kurt says Okudah hurt our player. Elliott has tape on Baltimore. If you start on defense in Baltimore, you're good. That's not true. Fuck no, that's not true. I can name a bunch of players who started in Baltimore who was not good. That is not no. Circumstances is good. Hell, I believe even with Bucko Rodriguez, which, you know, I think this game in a way was like Bucko Rodriguez had some moments, but I think this game proved that Bucko Rodriguez is about as okay of a player you're gonna see, because the moment he left out, it wasn't like we lost a beat. The other guy stepped up and played really well. It added another good week to his resume in Barnes. So, sorry.
You know that Barnes that kept chasing the running backs out to wide receivers?
Yeah. You say that one more time?
Was that Barnes that kept chasing our running backs out when they went out to be wide receivers?
Yes, number 55. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
And we're not talking about him because I got to talk about Pro Football Focus line and telling people that we got the second best safety and fans buying it. This is a joke. It has to be. It has to be. Not when I can look at other rookie players who have better stats in turnovers just like him, minus the fumbles.
Well, I think they're taking in the effect that, you know, it was Aaron Rodgers that he picked twice. I don't know. There's too many players who can say they've done that in one game. Right.
So what they're doing is they're giving him more points because it was Aaron Rodgers. That's not how you grade a person. I'm sorry.
Reigning MVP.
Yeah, that's not how you grade a person, right? You it has to be a different way, and I don't respect that. Seth Brown says the moment I realized that Goff is Brad Holmes' guy was when he traded T.J. Hockenson. Yes, the moment I realized that Goff was Brad Holmes' guy is when he traded up 20 spots to take a receiver who hurt. Like, I'm not being funny when I say this.
I've never figured that one out either.
You trade up 20 spots to take a receiver who hurt, who now that I'm hearing won't be in to almost December. I say he's gonna be back by November. I had a few bets with people who I'm not gonna collect on who said no, these injuries is not what you think. Now they're gonna try to tell me, well, he can play. They're just being cautious, right? Because you couldn't have used him against Green Bay when you got Tom Kennedy and Khalif Raymond out there. You had no Josh Reynolds, you had no DJ Chark. You have no Jameson Williams. You have no T.J. Hockenson. You had some makeshift tight ends, a makeshift receive core, and your team still put up 15 points. Probably should have put up more with the amount of turnover they was getting. Probably should have put up more, but they put up enough points and did enough to sustain drives to kill it. They chewed clock when you needed them to chew clock. I don't know what else you can ask for. Technical Puma says this is the best game Derek played, the best game that Derek played is the best game that Kirby's played. Like, it was. This is why they keep saying the young guys and the rookie stepped up. Like this was a lot of best games for a lot of people. That's all I'm saying. What are your thoughts on this run before? Because I'm not going to be on here long. I just want to talk about this because I'm annoyed. What are your thoughts on Pro Football Focus saying the following statement that Kerby Joseph is the number 2 overall graded safety, not just for the week, not just amongst rookies, but for the entire season through 5 starts. He's the best, second best safety.
Yeah, no, I'm going to need a couple more games from. I'm going to need a couple more games. Like I understand where they're coming from. It's Aaron Rodgers, reigning MVP, and a rookie picked him off twice in a game, and there's so much surrounding this because it is a divisional rival, and he's always had our number. Aaron Rodgers has had our number for many, many years, and for a rookie to come in and get 2 interceptions from him, I'm assuming that's what they're, it's a glorified ranking right now at this point because, like I said, not too many people can brag and boast and say, hey, I picked off Aaron Rodgers twice in a game, maybe twice in a season, but to do it in a game, that's pretty special. But yeah, I'm going to have to see a couple more games from him. If he can do it, 2 or 3 more games, then man, if he can get, 8 picks, then we're talking something special, man. Yeah.
Tactical Puma 58 says, Luke, can you just say Mitchell looked okay with 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown? Are we serious? Okay, if you want it. I mean, with 2. I can't make this shit up. 2 catches in the all right. 4 yards, 8 yards. Well, he looked okay. Unpopular opinions from Hungry Panda Studio says Barnes had a bigger impact than Kirk. Yes, and I share that view. I get the whole interceptions and stuff. I do, but I'm telling you, his ability to play that run changed the way they did things. If they could have kept running the ball, they would. Ultimate Dave, would you agree? If they was able to run that ball and run it way more consistent than they were, where they kept on having stall drives and people reaching and grabbing and holding and penalties, trying to stop people from rushing in there, they would have ran the ball more.
Yep, no doubt.
He was very pivotal in stopping that. He was, filling gaps. You can't ask for much more than that, man. That's all I'm saying. You cannot ask for much more than that, and I get it. I don't see how trading Hockenson proved Goff is Holmes' guy. Maybe telling Snead to trade up to draft Goff, but not trade Hock or drafting J-Mo. I think the reason he's saying that is because he's saying that if you keep TJ, that means that you believe that Goff can still make it work with those other tight ends. That you don't need a stellar tight end to make it work for the quarterback. And I think that's the point that he's trying to make. For me, the moment I realized it was when they took J-Mo. I'm like, the fact that they added J-Mo, they then added Chark, I'm like, God damn. They brought Reynolds back. They were just giving him weapons on top of weapons on top of weapons. And I'm just thinking to myself, what about the defense? Because it was bad before you got here. It's bad while you're here. And I think you never really did enough to address it. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And to your point about the whole Hockenson, we drafted 2 tight ends. And I was just like, well, why are we drafting so many damn tight ends?
Yeah.
Why are we bringing all these tight ends in? So I kind of had a feeling that this was TJ's last hurrah. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't get it. He was bragging, prior to the season, how he had this wide receiver tree route. But unfortunately, I don't know. He couldn't get open in the red zone. He couldn't catch. He was doing the same things that he was doing before. I don't know. But it just wasn't a good fit for us, unfortunately. So
now,
I don't know, man.
Before this game, what were you guys putting up points-wise? Like 30 points a game, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many of those points was Hockenson involved in?
You know what? I don't know, but I can tell you what Hockenson did do for us when turning about the involvement, right? Because I think this is something that you can't put on a stat sheet. You had to account for him, and if you look at that game against the Minnesota Vikings, The moment that they started realizing that we're going to worry about the outside people, he did his job and caught every pass for them. And then they had to go back inside and they went back out and they were able to do some runs and stuff. So I think his impact is a little bit different. But to me, what he brought to the table is this. You saw with him out of this game versus the Packers, you saw where, you know, if our tight end ran a route, there wasn't a linebacker on y'all team that didn't feel like they could run with him, right?
True.
They felt pretty comfortable. I saw linebackers really just like, I saw Rashawn Gary on one play run with the tight end. Like, I'm like, God damn, he don't even care.
Yeah, that's going to be a really bad loss for us. That's going to hurt Rad.
Right. Like they don't realize the Lions knocked a lot of players out this game on some big hits. And I mean, Technical Puma says, I mean, you hated that pick, but both catches were big and his blocking was on point. I still hate the fucking pick. We needed defense. I wanted defense. If you want to take your one offensive player, I didn't care who it was. Quarterback, receiver, I don't give a fuck, right? You took your one offensive player. Everybody else should have been defense. Everybody. I didn't care. I hated that pick. That tight end pick was trash. And he had a game with 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown. I highly doubt that's enough for you to give enough of a barometer to talk about it. Because when you look at the play that he got for that touchdown, look at who was in the backfield that they were looking at. They were worried about the guy in the backfield again. Coming out the backfield for a catch. And he got open based on play design. Bravo. But through 60 minutes, 2 catches and 8 yards, he played okay. Come on. Okay. It shows how made up the shallow PFF rankings are. Kirby has had 3 great games, but that shouldn't put him up that high. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. Second best safety? Come on now.
Now, I would also add to that had his interceptions been something that he went after.
One of them was.
But he played well. He played extremely well. I was very impressed with his play. But no, I'm sorry.
The second best.
He still has to. If you look at the PFF's tiers and rankings currently, his name wasn't even on there.
I fucking hate PFF. I'm not even being funny. I
just
hate
looked
him.
at it, and his name wasn't even there anywhere in the top 10.
Like, you would have thought that he took 2 interceptions back to the house. I'd have been like, okay, that's big. What's going on, Marcus Willis? That's big. But listen, second best safety. I want y'all to see this. And then I gotta get the hell up out of here because my kids, I get the, you know, I'm finally starting to get good in this damn Smash Brothers. I've been giving my son the business a few times. I'm still losing most of the game, but I'm giving him the business. He don't got to go to school tomorrow, so I give him a few more minutes to play. But all right, let's just look. Kirby Joseph is better than Jordan Poyer. He's better than Eddie Jackson. He's better than Harrison Smith. Like, I want y'all to think about this. He's better than Micah Fitzpatrick. The second best. Come on, Pro Football Focus. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Like, I'm serious. This right here, ain't this Troy Polamalu's nephew or something, or cousin or something? Stop this. That's all I'm saying. He got 2 interceptions. Great. He got 2 forced fumbles. Great. But stop this. Please. Like I said, Hungry Panda Studio, I'm with you. I thought Barnes was more pivotal. He's able to shut it down. That's all it is. Hatter House says PFF's trying to increase subs from Lions fans. Well, it worked. And Dr. Detroit, shout out to Dr. Detroit. He's like, well, the players' agents are using Pro Football Focus. You know, he's like they're using Pro Football Focus to get their contracts. I'm like, I highly doubt that NFL teams are sitting up there looking at it and going, "You did what on Pro Football Focus? You got a 78? What? They gave you a 90 grade? Yeah, more money." More money. Give him more money.
I like Hatter's house idea.
Which is that? Which is what? Increase
PFF's trying to increase subs from Lions fans.
He has to. Steve-O, Kirby saved 3 touchdowns against the Packers. That pass breakup in the middle of the field was a big time. Yes, it was.
Yep. I'm not saying he didn't play well. He played over and above what he's capable of.
Yes, we all agree that was the best game of his whole career. Not my words, his. Yes. But we forgot about the other people who performed too, and they didn't get the second best player at that position grade. It's just BS. 313 Kurt said, yep, this the year you're thinking about the past, Luke. Huh? This the year you're thinking about the past. I'm not sure I follow. PFF go off performance, not name. He haven't had that. If you look at him through 5 games, he ain't had the best performance throughout the whole entire NFL. You're not going to through 5 games. No. They said for the season. He started 5 games, and they say he's the second best for the season. So that's a joke. If James Mitchell gets a high PFF grade, you ain't going to hear that end of it. Listen, they can't do it because he had 2 catches for 8 yards. You can't do that. You got the first down picked up, which is good play design, and then the touchdown, good. I'm not knocking it, but I get it. Pro Football Focus is the National Inquiry of Journalism who takes those clowns for real. I don't, which is why I thought it was ridiculous that they made the statement. Kirby got beat on that pass breakup. He had a nice play on the underneath ball. I'm trying to remember that pass.
Yeah, it was very underthrown.
I mean, I remember being underthrown, but I'm trying to remember, was he beat or this is what I remember. I remember him being by the line of scrimmage, realizing that the receiver beat somebody else and hauling ass to get back there. That's what I remember. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. Kirby is an elite future Hall of Famer. According to Pro Football Focus, he's already there.
Oh.
I know I'm still going to be Patty. Fair enough. Fair enough. The Kirby ranking, you thinking about the past, they're saying this year, those players probably playing ass now. No. 313 Kurt. No, this is this year. I'm giving you this year
for this year.
This is this year's stats for players, interceptions. Like Kirby Joseph's not even in the top 10. When you look at if you take out the cornerbacks, he's tied with a lot of people. There's a lot of safeties in here who got it. But I'm scrolling down, I'm showing you. I gotta go to the next page for you to see it. Like this is this year. He's not the second best safety. And if you go to tackles, now was it fumbles? Fumbles, he might be number 1. I can't remember. Let's see. Who are the safeties up here? Kobe Bryant. That's a cornerback. I'm pretty sure that's a cornerback, right? I feel like Kobe Bryant's a cornerback. That's a guy from Seattle. Let me see if I'm wrong about that. Yep, Seattle. Cornerback. All right. So this cornerback got 4 forced fumbles. All right. 4. L'Jarius Sneed, corner. Eddie Jackson got 2 forced fumbles, which I believe that's what Joseph got. Yep, Joseph got 2. So even Eddie Jackson got 2 forced fumbles. So it's like, where's the second best safety at? I just come on, man. They trying to play with our intelligence, and I'm not having it. That's all I'm saying. It's a joke. All right, people. I've been on for 1 hour and 33 minutes. I wanted to get a lot of this out the way and cover it. Kirby is maybe second best based on recent opportunity. Nope.
Oh, wait, Luke, I got a better one for you.
What you got for me?
Tight end James Mitchell is the Lions' highest PFF graded offensive player.
What?
According to Pro Football Focus.
What?
Yes. They gave him an 84.8 score for that game.
Ultimate Dave, you're lying.
I am not.
You're telling me that right now on Pro Football Focus, that James Mitchell, the guy with 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown.
Yep. This was posted November 7th. Lions Week 9 PFF grades have been revealed.
Rumbo.
Rumbo. Yeah. I'm here.
Rumble. Take over. I need a moment. Take over. I need a moment. I got a screen. Just give me a second. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Simply talk about the Bears. I don't give a shit. Just give me a minute to take this all in. Now I want to make sure I heard this correctly. You're telling me, according to Pro Football Focus, that on November the 7th, that a guy with 2 catches
for 8 yards.
8 yards and a touchdown is the highest graded player on offense from that game?
Yes.
Rumble, take over for a minute. I need a moment.
It was second offense. Penei Sewell.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. So my whole thing with these PFF grades are they're inflated. We still have a few games left, so we have to be mindful of these PFF grades because God forbid they have a bad game this upcoming week against the Bears, then what's going to happen with their PFF grade? It's going to go down in the toilet. So my thing is with PFF, we just got to pump our brakes with this because I don't know who, what, when, how, or where these guys have been looking, but there's several other tight ends who have had way better games this year within regards to their offensive prowess. And one being who was probably on the bye week this week, George Kittle comes to mind. There's several outstanding tight ends out here who are way better than a guy who's only got 2 targets, which one happened to be a touchdown. But yeah, this is getting, this is kind of overboard for me because I don't understand how he's ranked so high with 2 targets. Albeit one was a touchdown, but I don't know. I don't know where they get their stats. I don't know how they're grading these guys, but we still have a lot of football left, and these guys are going to have to really, 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 really prove to us, the fan base and the league, that this win against Aaron Rodgers was not clickbait and was not a one-time thing. We still have 2 other teams in the NFC North that we have to kind of game plan accordingly and win those games as well. And I'm a stickler, man. I said I wanted us to get our NFC opponents first. If we win these games, if we start splitting these series that we have with these guys, then I'll be a believer because those wins matter the most, especially when it comes time to wild card games and all the other things. So this week versus the Bears, I hope and pray that we have somebody who's going to spy Justin Fields, because we can't have a repeat of what the Eagles did to us at the beginning of the season. We can't have it to where the middle of the field's wide open for this guy to just run through it like a gazelle. We have to be accountable for the. I'm sorry.
Well,
we have to be accountable.
Right. They have to. Somebody is definitely going to have to spy the quarterback. They're going to have to keep their eye on him because, I'm sorry, he's their leading rusher.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. Y'all think I'm joking. When I muted myself, I knew that I was going to say some words that would have took this video down. You have people who swear by this. And as Buffed Up say, the most elite 2 catches you ever saw in your life. And he's our highest graded player
for that game.
For that game. Look at your receivers. DeAndre Swift did more damage in limited snaps than James Mitchell. But wait, he didn't score, right? That's the whole thing. So what's the difference between Shane's 1 catch for 1 yard and a touchdown and James Mitchell's 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown?
A catch and 7 yards.
And that's enough to be higher than Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, Khalif Raymond, That's enough to be higher than them.
Yep.
I
think his was the game. His was the game winning touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the one that kind of kept us and
It
got
was
us
his
over.
was the second touchdown. Yes.
Yeah.
Easy, Luke. I know I shouldn't have told you that, but
There's no way on this planet, not no other planet, not in the multiverse, not in the MCU, not in the DCU, not in the university, the state college, the community college, not on Mars, not on any other moon, that shit makes sense. Somebody explain this to me. Somebody explain to me, how's that possible? The guy with 2 catches for a touchdown is your highest graded offensive player versus the Packers. How, Sway? How? Tell me how, Sway. Somebody had to explain this to me. How?
I don't
Sway?
know how they do their scoring. And I don't know if you heard me, but Penei Sewell was actually the number 2 player. So it's not just touchdowns. It's a combined total of everything.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Everything is not 2 catches and 8 yards and a touchdown. That's not every.
I think it was a clutch factor. He had the clutch in there because he that was the game-winning touchdown. I think that has something to do with it as well. I think maybe. I don't know. I can't see grading him that high. I didn't really see a whole lot from him.
Oh my God. This is not even. All right, people, we get into final thoughts. I can't. Nope. Blood pressure went up. I got people who swear by this shit. They swear by it. You wonder why I don't respect it? You wonder why I don't respect this? Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Blood pressure's still good. I'm gonna leave it right where it's at. All right.
Yep. Step down, Luke.
Yeah. Nope. I'm getting up out of here. Y'all, which y'all not gonna do. Which y'all not gonna. Nope. In the mix, you know what I mean. How, Sway? How? You know what I mean. In my Kanye West voice. How, Sway? Your second break. Listen, hold on in the mix. I'm not even gonna repeat this fuckery. I can't do it. Ultimate Dave, repeat what you just told us. Please repeat what you just told us. Please.
Which one?
About our tight end who had 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown where one of them was 5 yards long. Tell him what Pro Football Focus said. You tell him. Tell him.
Pro Football Focus says he was the number 1 offensive player on the Detroit Lions team Sunday.
And with that, people, listen, final thoughts. Ultimate Dave, please give the people your final thought. I can't. I won't. I will not. How, Sway? How?
Thanks, Luke, for having me on. It's awesome as always. I'll be here trolling you all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Look, I got Steve-O trolling me now. Talking about some Luke been talking about how we weren't giving the Lions props for beating the Packers, but it's pissed about the player getting good PFF grades. I don't get it. What you don't get? How is it? How is Kirby the second best safety in all of football this season? How is the highest graded offensive player on the Lions versus the Packers a tight end with 2 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown? What you don't get? If you don't get it, I don't get what you don't get about not getting this beat. Ultimate Dave. Go.
Yes, sir.
Go to the final thoughts. Final thoughts. Nope. Final thoughts. This is ridiculous.
I enjoyed the game regardless. It was a very well played game. Detroit did exactly what they wanted to do. They came out and they beat the Packers. Straight up, plain and simple. They beat us to death. That's all there is. Enjoy the win, folks.
Thank you.
You're probably going to get some more.
Thank you. Enjoy the win. James Mitchell will get the Calvin Johnson treatment from this. Marcus, no. See, you see what you started, Dave? This is not even your fault, Dave. This is Pro Football Focus fault. You got Marcus, no. And I know he's being facetious, but damn it, Marcus, no. No, we can't accept this. No, this is. Let me get this bullshit off the screen. I can't take this no more. Rumble, final thoughts, sir. I cannot. It's no way possible. I cannot. And people are. Nope, I won't. Rumble, final thoughts. We got it. Rumble, final thoughts.
I'm proud of the coaching staff for stepping up. Yeah, we lost, Aubrey Pleasant, but I'm proud. It looked like a completely different group of guys. I don't know what they did during practice, but I'm glad they did it. They showed up. There were some few minor miscues here and there, but they showed up. They showed out for the home fans. I'm looking to see what they do against the Bears this week. This can't be instant right now where they have a good game and then don't play good, and then they can't constantly be doing this to not only themselves but us, the fans, because we've all bought into this. The kneecaps, all of that, we saw it. That was like one of the very best games that I've seen out of, to your point, Luke, 2 out of 3 positions. It was a great overall game, especially against a NFC North opponent. Now we got another NFC North opponent coming in right before we get to Buffalo. So let's ride this wave of momentum. I hope they game plan for Justin Fields, because as old timer Dave said, that is their number 1 rusher. So we know he's a dual threat. We know he's a weapon, and we just have to believe in their guys. I hope they're riding high from picking off Aaron Rodgers 3 times and forcing Green Bay to look like like we look against them every year. So fans, you just gotta swallow your pride and you got to give these boys their just dues. We got another crazy one coming up this weekend as well with another NFC North opponent. Man, I hope you guys are roaring loud and proud. I hope you guys are ready. I'm always ready for Lions football, man. So with that being said, I'm out, man. Thank you, Luke. Old timer Dave.
It's a fun fact, though. It's a fun fact, Rumble. You do realize if the Lions beat the Bears and the Packers lose to the Dallas Cowboys, the Lions would then be number 2 in the NFC North.
I know. I've been saying that. I didn't want to say it out loud because I don't want to jinx it. But there you go.
You're not the only one who thought that, Luke.
There you go.
I'm just saying. Ramon the New Age says, well, actually, Luke, it makes sense in the MCU as the variant of James Mitchell had the super soldier serum. Unfreaking believable. Steve-O says, Luke, I admit to Okudah being a safety. You're going to have to say you were wrong about Mitchell when he starts contributing as much as Hockenson was. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about him. I want to be wrong about the receiver coming back off injury. I want to be wrong about every person I ever talk about. I love being wrong because I want wins and I want to see them perform. I want to see them succeed. And I have no problem saying I'm wrong. No problem. No problem whatsoever. So if he started performing, I'll give it to him. The same way I gave props to Okudah when he performed through all those weeks. The same way I gave props to Aiden Hutchinson when he performed all those weeks, and I gave criticism when he didn't. The same way I gave props to Kirby, who I said, where's the ball hawk at? He got 2. Let's keep this going. Be consistent. I don't care about splash plays here and there. I want consistency. So, yeah, I have no problem admitting that, for real. All right, people, thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to give you a quick positive quote because I got to get up out of here. My mind has been completely blown in a matter of minutes. Highest grade, unfreaking believable.
Sorry, Luke.
That's crazy. Today's positive quote is simple. It comes from me. Stay lifted. I know that these days, as the winter come along, people get the blues, and it's not a joke. It's not something that people just say about the winter blues. It's real. I get the summer blues. I hate the summertime. I hate the heat. I prefer it to be cold. That's just me. I get excited in the wintertime, right? But I understand it. So stay lifted. Do things that lift you up. Go to the gym. Eat better. Sleep more. Spend time with family. Spend time with loved ones and friends. And take that time to build yourself up. Because I can assure you one thing and one thing only, which is simply this. That every time you do something that keeps you lifted, you elevate yourself to a whole nother level of being on this planet. Your purpose becomes greater. Your moments in life become bigger. And everything that you thought was going to be bad doesn't seem so bad because you stayed lifted. So please stay lifted. Keep yourself motivated. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep yourself engaged and keep yourself prepared to take on whatever the life is going to toss at you. Because when life is lifing, let life life and you live through it. Be better, be bigger, and stay lifted. And with that being said, thank everybody for joining me. Pro Football Focus. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.